Hello traders, Rich here, and here's a quick but detailed update on GBPUSD. As usual, if you guys like video analysis, let me know in the comments or simply leave a like. So let's get started. As we clearly see, GBPUSD has been overall bearish for a while, making lower highs and lower lows, and we are currently retesting a resistance zone, which is also the previous high. So it was acting as a support previously, then price broke it downward, now acting as a resistance, and we are currently retesting this resistance. Of course, that's why we'll be looking for sell setups on lower time frames. And I insist on the word looking because no matter how strong a resistance is, it can still be broken upward. So now we'll zoom into lower time frames for extra confirmation. Meanwhile, until the bears take over and the sell setup is activated, GPUSD can still break this resistance upward. In this case, it will become support and we'll be looking for buy setups on the retest and of course sell setups around the next resistance zone. Let's take it step by step, right? Around the resistance now. So let's zoom into lower time frames and look for sell setups. As we can clearly see, we are currently bullish, prices making higher lows and higher highs, right? We were bearish and we are currently in this correction phase. And since we are overall bearish, every bullish movement is simply a correction. We can see it better from H4 time frame. We are currently trading inside this big wedge pattern. So until we see a break above the swatch pattern and the resistance area, we are still bearish. So until we see this, in this case will be bullish, and as mentioned from daily, we'll be looking for a buy setup on the retest of the watch pattern and of this support, which was a resistance zone. Anyway, let's take it step by step again and again. So we are now bearish from a long-term perspective, bullish from a short-term perspective, waiting for the bear to take over again, right? To follow the overall trend. That's why, as per my trading plan, I'll be waiting for a new swing low to form around the lower trend line to consider it my trigger swing. For Osonomi, I always highlight it like this as our trigger. And when the sell setup is activated, the stop loss would be just above the previous swing high. Here we go, and we target a 1 to 2 risk reward ratio to have an edge over the market from a risk management perspective. It would be a trend following sell setup. Meanwhile, until the sell is activated, GPUSD can settle a little bit higher before activating the sell, or even break it upward, break the resistance this weekly. This brown trend line from daily and weekly. In this case, we'll be looking for buy stops on the retest. Before we continue, I want to tell you about Tickmill. Tickmill is established in 2014 and is one of the leading Forex and CFD brokers with registered users from more than 200 different countries. Tickmill is a no-dealing desk and ECN broker regulated in many countries like the UK, Cyprus, and recently in South Africa. With Tickmill, you can trade a wide range of instruments, starting from Forex to indices, commodities, and even crypto. Most importantly, with very low spreads and trading fees. If you don't have an account yet, make sure to create one using my referral link in the description below to benefit from 5% discounts on your trading fees. And let's continue. As we clearly see, and if you remember, I posted a picture analysis about gold a couple of days ago. I mentioned this area here. As price approaches this zone, we'll be looking for buy stops because it's the intersection of the support zone and the non-horizontal support, which is the lower orange trend line. So now we'll be looking for buy stops from lower time frames, knowing that gold can still dive inside the zone before trading higher, just like previously here and here as well. This is from a short-term perspective. From a long-term perspective, we'll be waiting for gold to form a new swing high around the upper resistance around 1750 and then a break above it to finally say that we are now bullish. We have a shift in momentum from bearish to bullish by breaking above the channel upward. For now, we are still bearish, and if you remember, we were looking for sell setups around this area as it was the intersection of a resistance and the upper orange trend line acting as a non-horizontal resistance. Anyway, let's take it step by step, right, and update the current price action around here now, looking for buy stops from a short-term perspective and then this from a long-term perspective. Unless we have a break below this area, it wouldn't be good for gold. In this case, we'll have a double top, and this would be the neckline, which happens to be also around 1700. If we break below it, we would break below the double top neckline. In this case, further movement down would be expected till around this demand zone, which is also 1500 round number, and the intersection with this lower trend line, as you can see, rejecting the price upwards. Anyway, So this is basically it from a long-term perspective. If we see this, then a movement lower would be expected. For now, we'll be expecting this reversal, but we need this to happen and we swing high around the resistance and then a break above it. So this is from a long-term and medium-term perspective. From a short-term perspective, if you zoom into M30 time frame, we know that we are currently still overall bearish, making lower highs and lower lows. If we break above this high, then the bulls would take over from a short-term perspective and we'll be expecting a movement till this upper resistance, and then we'll follow the structure we saw from daily, waiting for this to happen and then a break above it and above this trend line here. Meanwhile, we can still trade lower. In this case, we'll be waiting for a new swing high to form and then we can buy on break upward. We might have a channel or a double bottom pattern. Anyway, like we can't really know for now because like it didn't happen yet. But this is basically it. That's our last high for now, that we want gold to break upward to trade further upward, or trade lower like this and then look for buy setups inside the support zone. That's it for gold. Best of luck and I'll see you on the next one.